Hello everyone, my name is Joseph. Welcome back to the Popsicle Knight channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video, or hit the thumbs down if you don't. Also, if you enjoy the contents of this channel, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. So today we'll be talking about the Sword and Shield Chilling Reign set coming out in June 18th. So we're going to review all the cards today and see which cards are usable and what we can look forward to. It is worth noting that this set does come with a gold Gormandized Snorlax, which I would like to really get my hands on. We also have Electrode and Bronzong. So let's start with the V and VMAX Pokemon that will come with the Chilling Reign set. The first one we got is Celebi V with Luleaf Dance. Attach any number of grass energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. This could be good for deck builds that requires a lot of energies. And its second attack is Slashback, 60 damage, and then you can switch with one of your bench Pokemon. Next one is Celebi VMAX. Ability is Healing Force. Once during your turn, you can heal 20 damage from each of your grass Pokemon. And then Max Plant, 130 damage, and then you can search your deck for 2 Pokemon and put them in your hand. Blaziken V is next. High Jump Kick, 50 damage, and then Fire Spin, 210 damage. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This could be really good with the Recycle Energy, and pair it with Porygon Z. You can continue to recycle those energies back and continue to use Fire Spin. And then we got Blaziken VMAX. The first attack is Clutch, 60 damage. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. And then its second attack is Max Blaze. It will do 130 damage, and then you can easily pay this with the Rapid Strike energy, and you can attach any energy from your discard pile to up to 2 of your bench Rapid Strike Pokemon. So this is going to be a really nice Energizer battery for a lot of Rapid Strike deck builds. Next up we got Volcanion V. First attack is Heat Blast. It will do 50 damage, and then its second attack is Dynamite Tackle. It will do 100 damage. But if this Pokemon has 10 damage counters on it or more, this attack does 150 more damage, so 250 damage. And then you can probably use Houndoom and then use its ability to attach the Single Strike energy onto this Volcanion V, which will do 2 damage counters. So if you do 4 Single Strike energies on Volcanion V, it will already do 80 damage onto it. So it's a nice start for it, and then it'll increase its attack by 20 for each Single Strike energy. And then maybe if you add a Vitality Band, you can easily increase its attack to 340. So this could be something. And now we got one of the mascots for this set, Ice Rider Calyrex V. The first attack is Pierce, 40 damage, and its second attack is Glacial Lance. It will do 200 damage, but then you have to discard 2 energies from this Pokemon. And its evolution is Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Emperor Ride, 10 damage, and then it'll do 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Then Max Lance, 10 damage, and then you can discard up to 2 energy cards, and for each energy you discarded, you do 120 more damage. So if you discarded 2, that's 240 plus 10, 250 in total. And there's a lot of engines that you can use, probably Porygon Z with Recycle Energy, or even Colossal. And we got the new Melanie supporter card, which can easily put energies on your Pokemon V. So we'll see what combos we can make up with this one. Next up we got Zeraora V. It has the attack Cross Fist. Its attack cost is lightning and 2 colorless, and since it is a Rapid Strike, you can easily use the Rapid Strike energy to power up this attack. And so you basically use 2 energies to start using this attack. So it does 100 damage, and if any of your other Rapid Strike Pokemon used an attack during your last turn, this attack does 160 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So based on its description, you can't really use this Zeraora to keep attacking and then deal 160 damage to your opponent's bench. You need to be using another Rapid Strike. So if you use a Zeraora V, if you have 2 Zeraora Vs and switch them back and forth, you can probably take advantage of this effect and deal 160 damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon. But with the new Passimian, which adds 30 damage to bench damage against V or GX Pokemon, you can definitely increase the bench damage to this, and then pair that with the telescopic sight. You could be dealing 220 damage every turn to your bench, your opponent's bench Pokemon. So 100 to the active and then 220 to the bench. So that's a total of 320 almost every turn for 2 energies, which is insane. And with the switching Rapid Strike, you can use the Tower Waters to reduce the retreat cost for this one, and this could really pair nicely with the Gale Thrust attack of Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. So this one really has a lot of potential, and I'm looking forward to getting this one on my collection. Next up, we got Galarian Articuno V. It has the ability Psychic Construct. Once during your turn, you may discard 2 cards from your hand, and if you do, draw 1 card. And its attack, Psychic Beam, 110 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Next up, we got the other mascot, Shadow Rider Calyrex V. First attack is Shadow Mist, 10 damage, and then your opponent can't play any special energy or stadium cards from their hand during their next turn. So this is very reminiscent of Honchkrow GX. And its second attack is Astral Barrage. Put 5 damage counters on 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. This could be a very powerful attack, and Mew with the bench barrier won't be able to save you from this one. And its evolution is Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. It has the ability, I'll call this one Basement Door for now. Once during your turn, you may attach a purple energy card from your hand to one of your benched purple Pokemon, then draw 2 cards. So this is a really good drawing engine, as well as a good energizer for a lot of purple type builds. And its attack, Max Geist, 10 damage, and then this attack does 30 more damage for each purple energy attached to your Pokemon in play. So it's very similar to Bolton V's attack, and you know how you can really stack up damage with this one. So very powerful attack, and it really has a lot of potential, but probably going to be used mostly for its drawing and also its energizing engine. Next up, we got Galarian Zapdos V. It has the ability Fighting Instinct. For each Pokemon V your opponent has in play, this Pokemon's attack costs 1 colorless less. And it has the Thunderclap Kick attack, 170 damage. Before doing damage, discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. This attack might seem very expensive, but its ability makes up for it. So if your opponent plays a lot of Pokemon Vs, such as Eternatus VMAX, plays a lot of Crobat Vs, you can basically use this attack for 1 fighting energy, and you can even 1-hit KO Eternatus VMAX because you're hitting for weakness. So that's probably why they released the new Crobat engine, so you don't have to use the Crobat Vs to draw on Eternatus VMAX builds. But since this is a fighting type, Galarian Zapdos can also utilize the stone energies to increase its defense by 20 for each stone energy. So if you have all 4 stone energies attached, you can increase its defense by 80. And then you can also use the new Galarian Breastplate because this is a Galarian Zapdos. You can increase its defense for 30 more. So can you imagine, every turn you're receiving 110 less damage from each attack from your opponent. So this is going to be a very tanky Pokemon, and so with the defense and its HP, you're looking at 310 damage for this Pokemon to get knocked out with 1 hit. So very tanky Pokemon, very powerful, and this is one of those Pokemons that I really look forward to using when the set comes out. So one of my favorite Pokemons in this set. Next up, we got Sandaconda V. It has the ability Sand Barricade. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. And again, you can use the Stone Energy to increase its defense even more. And its second attack is Land Crush. It will do 140 damage. And its VMAX form is Sandaconda VMAX. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Sand Pulse, 60 damage. This attack does 20 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And the second attack is Gmax Cyclone, 180 damage, and you can move any number of energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon in any way you like. And I can see myself using 2 Sandaconda VMAX in play, and each time I attack, I can just transfer all of the energy from the active to one of my bench Sandaconda VMAX. And even if my opponent damages my active, I can just heal it all back with Cheryl, and then just keep switching my active with my bench Sandaconda VMAX, and I'll just keep attacking for 180 each turn while I keep myself alive. Probably just keep using Cheryl, and probably use Palpad to keep getting Cheryl back, and I can infinitely use Sandaconda VMAX to keep attacking without it getting knocked out. So has a lot of potential, very gimmicky, but it has, I can see it happening. Next up, we got Galarian Moltres V. He has the ability Bolstered Wings. Once during your turn, you may attach a dark energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon, and you can't use more than one Bolster Wings ability per turn. And its attack Aura Burn, 190 damage. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. And here we got Galarian Slowking V. He has 2 attacks. The first one is Mixing. Discard a card from your hand, then draw 3 cards from your deck. And his second attack is Doom Word. The defending Pokemon is knocked out at the end of your opponent's next turn. So probably if you got something to keep your opponent in the active, you can just keep knocking out a lot of Pokemon. And then its evolution is Galarian Slowking VMAX. It only has 1 attack, Max Toxin. It will deal 10 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, but during Pokemon checkup, it will deal 12 poison damage counters each turn instead of 1. So between your turn and your opponent's turn, you're looking at 240 damage, and you don't have to keep attacking with Galarian Slowking. You could just put it in the bench and then keep attacking with another Pokemon. So that poison will remain, that will do 12 damage counters in between turns. So it's very powerful, and you can even intensify its poison damage using Toxicroak. So a lot of potential. Then we got Liepard V. It has the ability Concealing Claw. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may discard 1 Pokemon tool card attached to any Pokemon in play, either yours or your opponent's. And it has the attack Shadow Reaper, 110 damage. You may return this Pokemon and all cards attached to it to your hand. So unless your opponent can one-hit KO this Pokemon V, you can keep attacking it, and you can keep attacking with it. And I can see a combination with Hydreigon. Just keep reattaching energy to it, and then each time this goes back into your hand, you can keep playing its ability to discard Pokemon tool cards in play. So this one could be actually very useful in a lot of instances. So a very nice card. Next up, we got Metagross V. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Bullet Punch, 20 damage, and then you can flip 2 coins. This attack does 20 more damage for each heads. And his second attack is Synchro Hammer, 60 damage. And if this Pokemon and the defending Pokemon have the same number of energy cards attached, this attack does 90 more damage. And its evolution is Metagross VMAX. Its first attack is Magnetic Pull. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. What makes this attack great is because you can search for any 2 cards from the deck, which this is probably what's going to be used for a lot in a lot of builds. And its second attack is G-Max Rush, 100 damage, and then during your next turn, this Pokemon G-Max Rush will deal 250 damage instead. So as long as you keep this Pokemon in the active, it will do 250 damage every turn. And then we got Tornadus V. Since it is a single strike Pokemon, you can definitely use Houndoom to power this up with the single strike energy to increase its attack. And it has 2 attacks. The first one is Blow Through, 20 damage, and if there's a stadium in play, this attack does 20 more damage. And his second attack is Blast Hammer, 180 damage, and then you discard an energy from this Pokemon. Its evolution is Tornadus VMAX. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Blast Wind, 60 damage, and its second attack is Max Fujin, 120 damage. And if there is a stadium card in play, this attack does 120 more damage, so 240 when there is a stadium in play, and then you discard that stadium. Then we got Blissey V. It has the ability Natural Cure. Whenever you attach an energy from your hand to this Pokemon, remove all special condition from this Pokemon. And its attack, starting with 1 colorless, Blissey Bomber, 10 damage, and then this attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. And after doing damage, you may attach up to 3 energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So it's self-energizing, and this attack could definitely build up and could one-hit KO any Pokemon in play. So has a lot of potential, could be very deadly. And now for my favorite part of this video is the review of the Stage 2 cards. And guys, get ready for more Orbeetle builds. Starting with Beedrill, it's a single strike Pokemon. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Persistent Sting. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any special energy attached to it, it is now knocked out. My goodness, this attack is incredible. You could just knock out your opponent with just 1 energy. And I can see this being combined with Dusknoir. So if any of your Pokemon builds uses a lot or relies a lot on special energy, not only will you shut down their special energy, you can one-hit KO their Pokemon who uses them. So this one has a lot of potential. I'm really looking forward to building a deck with this Beedrill. Its second attack, not so great. Jet Spear, 110 damage, discard an energy from this Pokemon. So really cool card. Next one, we got Serena. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Trod On, 10 damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each energy in the retreat cost of your opponent's active Pokemon. And its second attack is Solar Beam, 120 damage. And then we got one of our starter Pokemons, Rillaboom. It is a Rapid Strike Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is Wood Drain. It will do 60 damage and heal 30. And its second attack is Surging Beat. It will deal 120 damage, and you can discard any number of energy cards attached to your Pokemon in play. And if you do, this attack does 30 more damage for each card discarded in this way. So it doesn't have to be grass type energies. It could be any energies, and if depending on how much you discard, you add 30 for each energy. So if you're looking at 120, you have to discard 4 energies from play to deal 120 more damage. So just to put it in perspective, I don't see the discarding being used every turn, but you can definitely build this up, and you can probably even one-hit KO VMAXs with this one attack, but you can hit 420 damage every turn with it. So this could be a very powerful attack for sure. And then we got Cinderace. It is a single strike Pokemon with the ability Crisis Power. This Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active for each price card they've already taken. So if your opponent's down to their last price, you're dealing 150 extra damage when you attack with this Cinderace. Cinderace has 1 attack, Fireball Shoot, 150 damage. Again, when your opponent's down to their last price, you're dealing 300 damage every turn. And since it is a single strike, you can also utilize the single strike energy to increase its attack even further. And we also have the new Karen's Conviction supporter card, which increases our single strike Pokemon's attack by 20 for each price card our opponent has already taken. So it pairs really nicely with this Cinderace, and this thing can one-hit KO any Pokemon in the game, especially when our opponent is down to their last few prices. And as for our last starter, we got Inteleon. It is a Rapid Strike Pokemon with the ability Quick Shooter. Once during your turn, you may place 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. This ability is really great. 2 damage counters. If you have 4 of these in play, you're talking 8 damage counters every turn, and that's just the ability. And you can also attack with this. Waterfall does 70 damage, and you can easily pay it with the Rapid Strike energy. It is a stage 2, so I don't see a lot of people seeing this as a good alternative to Zigzagoon with the Headbutt Tantrum. But if you play Orbeetle, this could be a really great card to play. Although its basic Pokemon is Sobble, it has the attack Continuous Call. You search for up to 3 Rapid Strike basic Pokemon and put them on your bench. So you could definitely set up a lot of Sobbles, and if you have the right cards in play like rare candies and whatnot, you can set up your Inteleons really easily. And I don't know, maybe we don't need Orbeetle to set up this Inteleon. We'll just have to see which is the best way to play this, especially with new cards coming out. We just never know how we can really utilize how to set up these new cards that we're getting in the Chilling Reign set. Next up, we got Walrein. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Aurora Beam. It will deal 70 damage. Second attack is Hail Prison, 160 damage. You have to discard 2 energies from this Pokemon, and when you do, the opponent's active is now paralyzed. So it's an instant paralysis, and with the damage, you can practically 2-hit KO a lot of the VMAXs in the game right now. So this could definitely see some showcase
with my Orbital build. And yeah, it has a lot of potential. I mean, it has some potential for sure. Next up, we got Ampharos. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Thunder Shock. It will do 50 damage. You flip a coin, and if it's heads, your opponent's active is now paralyzed. And its second attack is Searchlight Tail, 90 damage. And then you look at your opponent's hand. If you find energy there, this attack does 180 damage instead. So this could be powerful because for the most part, your opponent will always have like an energy in their hand. So 180 damage for 2 energies is not too bad. So this one has potential as well. Could be a great attacker on lightning builds. Next up, we got Hatterene. It has the ability Hatina's Sonata. That's what I'll call it for now. Once during your turn, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, then have your opponent switch their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. So this ability is basically a constant escape rope. So you always have access to escape rope. And this Pokemon has 1 attack, Psychic 30 damage, and this attack does 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. This attack is actually pretty powerful for 2 colorless. You can compare this one to Orbital VMAX attack. So if your opponent has 4 energies attached to it, you're dealing 230 damage just for 2 colorless. So very powerful attack, but it all depends on how many energies your opponent has. This one could see a lot of play for sure. Next up, we got Gardevoir. It has the ability Arcana Shine. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck. If you see basic energy there, you can attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like and put the other cards in your hand. So this is really great for drawing engine as well as to energize your Pokemon. So this could be a very useful card in a lot of purple decks. It has the attack Brainwave, 60 damage, and then it will do 30 more damage for each energy, purple energy attached to this Pokemon. So this attack could build up, and it could be very powerful, depending on how you play it. And its attack really pairs nicely with its ability, and this card is really cool. And just like Inteleon, its pre-evolution is Kirlia. It has the attack Mirage Step. You can search your deck for 3 Pokemon named Kirlia and put them in your bench. So again, you can set up Gardevoir really easily, and we might not even have to use Orbital to play it. Again, another one of those cards that comes in this set that makes Stage 2 evolution really easy to set up. So really nice card to have. Next up, we got Gengar. It has the ability Dying Gift. When this Pokemon is knocked out, so based on the wording, it has to be knocked out first by damage from an opponent's attack, and then you can search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. So this reminds me of the Teammate Supporter card. After one of your Pokemon is knocked out, you can search for any 2 cards from your deck. And its attack Pain Burst, it will deal 10 damage, and then this attack does 40 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is like a mini version of Sableye attack, which could really be powerful depending on how much damage counter your opponent's active has. And then we got the male version of Gardevoir. This is Gallade. This is a fighting type Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is Faint. It will deal 60 damage, and this attack isn't affected by resistance. So it's a really nice chip damage against flying type Pokemon. And then its second attack is Dynablade. This attack does 60 damage times the number of your opponent's Pokemon V in play. So multiplied, if your opponent has 3 Pokemon V or VMAX in play, this attack can deal 180 damage. So for 2 colorless energy, it's not a bad attack, and you're only giving up 1 prize card. So 1 prize card in exchange for a big hit against the VMAX could be very significant. And then we got Scolipede. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Poison Sting, 50 damage, and then your opponent's active is now poisoned, which sets up nicely for its second attack, Venoshock, 100 damage, and if your opponent's active is poisoned, this attack will deal 220 damage instead. So it's a nice setup between those 2 attacks, but there's a lot of cards that you can use in the in the game right now that can instantly poison your opponent. And with one dark energy and probably a twin energy, you can easily use its second attack and deal 220 damage every turn. So this is a really strong card for sure. Then we got Aggron. It has 2 attacks, guard press, 100 damage. During your opponent's next turn, any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks is reduced by 30. And its second attack is ground split, 240 damage. But then this will deal 30 damage to all of your own Pokemon. So I don't know. This is a pretty self-destructive card, I think. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to play this one if I could. But we'll have to see. We'll just have to experiment. And then we got Porygon Z with the ability Bug Transmission. Once during your turn, when you attach an energy from your hand to this Pokemon, you may leave the opponent's active Pokemon confused. Very disruptive card, very interesting. And he has the attack Super Beam, 170 damage, but then you discard 2 energies from this Pokemon. Maybe you can use another Porygon Z with the Recycle Energy to power up this Porygon Z so that you can confuse your opponent and be able to attack as well. Interesting. Next up, we got Abomasnow with the ability Toughness Up. As long as this Pokemon is in play, the maximum HP of your single strike Pokemon in play, excluding any Abomasnow, is increased by 50. And you can't apply more than one Toughness Up ability at a time. So that 50 extra HP to all of your single strike Pokemon can be a big deal. You know, there's that scroll that uses for 1 fighting energy, and the more damage you have, you can use that attack. And so that extra 50 HP and the more damage you can put onto your single strike Pokemon can increase that damage. And also survivability of your single strike Pokemon is a big thing. So I can see this Pokemon being played in a lot of single strike Pokemon builds. And it also has 1 attack, Mega Punch. It will deal 90 damage. And again, with the single strike energy, you can increase this attack if you have no choice but to attack with this Pokemon. Next up is Sawbuck. He has 2 attacks. The first one is Tackle. It'll do 30 damage. And his second attack is Winter Horn, 80 damage. And if you have a Stadium in play, this attack does 80 more damage. 160 damage is a fair amount of damage if you have a Stadium in play. So this could see some gameplay with the help probably with Cherim. This could be a good combination and use it as single price Pokemon build. Next up is Ledian. It has 2 attack. First one is Quick Draw, 20 damage, and then you draw 2 cards. And its second attack is Air Slash, 100 damage, and then you can discard an energy from this Pokemon. Don't underestimate this one because there is a trainer card called Flyinium Z that if your Pokemon uses Air Slash, you can use an attack called Speeding Sky Strike GX attack. For 4 colorless energy, it will deal 180 damage, and then you prevent all effects of attack, including damage, to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. So this could be a very powerful Pokemon given the right situation, especially when you're using a single price Pokemon builds. So just keep that in mind. Next up is Volcarona. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Combustion, 50 damage, and then next one is Fire Spin, 170 damage, and then you discard 2 energies from this Pokemon. A strong attack for sure. And we finally got a single price form of Rapid Strike Urshifu. This is a Rapid Strike Pokemon, of course. 2 attacks, Slashing Claw, will deal 40 damage, and then its second attack is Slash Rapid Bullet. It will do 30 damage for each of your Rapid Strike Pokemon in play. So if you have the bench and also the one in the active, that's a total of 180 damage if all Pokemon you have in play, 5 in the bench and also 1 in the active, are all Rapid Strike Pokemon. And then we finally got the debut of Kavfu. This is the basic Pokemon where all of the Urshifu Pokemon evolved from. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Discipline. Search your deck for a basic energy card and attach it to this Pokemon. And then its second attack is Elbow Strike. It will deal 60 damage. Then we got Frostlass. It has the ability Snowfall. Once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve a Pokemon, you may search your discard pile for a water energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. This ability is really good for energizing your Pokemon, especially your water type builds. And then you can probably use a scoop up net to keep reusing this and be able to energize a lot of your water Pokemon that requires a lot of water energy. So this definitely will see a lot of play after the Chilling Reign set comes out. And then we got Weavile. It's a Rapid Strike Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is 2-hit KO. If the defending Pokemon takes damage from one of your Rapid Strike Pokemon during your next turn, it is knocked out, instantly knocked out. So you just gotta prevent the defending Pokemon from retreating. Use this 2-hit KO attack, and then in your next turn you just have to hit that with a Rapid Strike Pokemon. It doesn't matter if it hits for 10 damage, it's just automatically gonna get knocked out. So this first attack is insane. I can't wait to play around with this, and it's gonna be a really bad meme deck to play in PTCGO when the set releases. Its second attack is Nasty Plot. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. So this one is really good also for searching up your deck, and it only requires 1 water energy. So this one definitely has a lot of potential. Could use it as support and also as a 1-hit KO or 2-hit KO for that matter against your opponents. It doesn't matter if they're VMAX, doesn't matter what HP they have, they're just gonna get instantly knocked out on your next turn if they can't get their active or defending Pokemon, the defending Pokemon out of the active. Next up is Zebstrika. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Link Bolt, 30 damage, and if any of your other Rapid Strike Pokemon used an attack during your last turn, this attack does 90 more damage. This first attack is actually really powerful for just 1 colorless energy, so really great attack. And his second attack is Spark Rush. You flip a coin until you get tails, and for each heads you get, you deal 90 damage times that. Next up is Slurpuff. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Follow the Smell. Flip 3 coins. For each heads, choose a card from your discard pile, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. This first attack is very interesting because you can basically get any card from your discard pile back into your hand. And the second attack is Fairy Wind. It will do 80 damage. Bayonet. It is a single strike Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is Spiteful Resolve, 20 times damage. Put up to 7 damage counters on this Pokemon, and this attack does 20 damage for each damage counter you placed in this way. This is like a one-time attacker, I think, because you can only put 7 damage counters on this Pokemon one time before it gets knocked out. Unless you have a way to heal it, then this could be very powerful indeed. And its second attack is Eerie Light, 50 damage, and then your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Golurk. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Enhanced Punch. It will do 60 damage, and if this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached to it, this attack does 90 more damage. So 150 if this one has a tool card, and then its second attack is Megaton Fall, 190 damage. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. Then we got Malamar, which is a Rapid Strike Pokemon with 1 attack, Rapid Tentacles. For just 1 purple energy, you show your hand, and however many Rapid Strike cards you have there, it will do 40 damage times the number of cards you revealed that way. So this one can really stack up, and I can see this one being played a lot. Doug Trio. It's a Rapid Strike Pokemon with 1 attack, triple head, 60 times damage. You flip 3 coins, and however many heads you do, it will do 60 damage times that. And if all the coins are head, you prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. Flipping 3 heads in a row is a little bit gimmicky. It is possible, but unlikely, so interesting. Then we got Galarian Surfetch, which is a single strike Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is Peck, 40 damage, and its second attack is Sleek Strike, 70 damage. And if it has a tool card attached to it, this one will do 90 more damage. So 160 damage is really good, and it is not affected by resistance. Galarian Runerigus. It has the ability Spiteful Lithograph. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent Pokemon VMAX, put damage counters on the attacking Pokemon equal to the damage done to this Pokemon. This is a really interesting ability, and this can be a really good wall against your opponent's Pokemon VMAX, especially if they use Pokemon VMAX that only has like one attack that does a lot of damage, like Eternatus VMAX. So if they hit this one, it will do 270 damage back to their Eternatus VMAX. So they have to choose whether to attack you or not. So this one can just sit in the active and take the hit. You lose one prize card for it, but deal a lot of damage against your opponent's Pokemon VMAX, and you're gonna get 3 prizes if you end up knocking out their Pokemon VMAX. And if they decide not to attack you and they have a lot of energy, like Centiskorch VMAX, they're gonna get punished with the attack Energy Press. It's 60 damage, and then this attack does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this one is really good. Next up, we got Lycanroc. It's a single strike Pokemon with 1 attack, Rogue Fang, 80 damage, and this attack does 10 more damage for each single strike Pokemon in your discard pile. Crabominable. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Double Lariat. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 90 damage times the number of heads, so it can build up to 180. And its second attack is Crab Hammer, 130 damage. Graplock. It has the ability Grappling Master. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent's active Pokemon retreat cost is increased by 2. So this is really disruptive in a sense that if you want to keep your opponent in the active, this is the man for the job. Well, the Pokemon for the job. And it has the attack Synchro Buster. It will do 80 damage, and if you have the same number of cards in your hand and your opponent, it will do 80 more damage. And then we finally got a 1-prizer single strike Urshifu. This one has 2 attacks, Field Crush, 50 damage, and if your opponent has any stadium in play, discard it. And its second attack is Carnage Knuckle, 100 damage, and if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 100 more damage. 200 damage for 3 energies, not bad. You can probably combo this with the new stadium Old Cemetery, so that when you attach an energy on this Urshifu, it will do 2 damage counters on it, and so that fulfills the requirement to increase the attack for 200 damage as long as you have the energies you need. So this one's pretty good. And we're also getting a regular version of Galarian Slowking. It has the ability Secret Medicine. Once during your turn, you may choose one of your Pokemon, flip a coin. If heads, restore 90 HP to that Pokemon, and if tails, place 3 damage counters on that Pokemon. So interesting. I don't know if that's going to be useful at some point, but anyways, it has 1 attack, Spray Fluid. It will do 90 damage. We are getting 2 Weezings in this set as well. This first one is the regular Weezing. It has 2 attacks, Bland Toxin. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Attach a dark energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And its second attack is Smog Burst, 20 damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each dark energy attached to your Pokemon in play. And its first attack actually sets up for its second attack really nicely. The second attack really has a lot of potential. There's a lot of ways we can stack energies to our Pokemon in play and be able to increase the damage output for this attack. And the regular Weezing is actually made to pair nicely with Galarian Weezing. It has the ability Energy Factory. Each basic dark energy attached to your Pokemon with Weezing in its name, it provides 2 dark energies. So you can apply more than one of this ability at a time, but being able to double your dark energies for our Weezing is very significant, and you can do tremendous amount of damage just because of this ability. It also has 1 attack, Suffocating Gas, and it will do 50 damage. And then we got Greedent, the most important stage 1 Pokemon in this set. It has the ability Brazen Tail. If you hate Crushing Hammer, Fan of Waves, or anything like these, this is the card for you. Prevent all effects of your opponent's item and support cards that would discard energy from your Pokemon or return energy from your Pokemon to your hand or deck. So you don't have to worry about those stupid cards and just be able to go about your strategy and beat your opponent in a fair match. Then it has the attack Gnaw. It will do 90 damage. The following 4 cast forms has the ability Forecast. If you have 8 or more stadiums in your discard pile, you ignore all energy cost of all attacks from these types of Pokemon. So this Sunny form has the attack Anti-Cyclone Blast. It will do 150 damage, and you can discard a Stadium card in play in order to use this attack. So this is a nice setup Pokemon if you can afford the attack cost. We have access to Welder anyways, and be able to discard a lot of Stadium so that your other cast form can attack for free. And the damage output for this attack is actually pretty good. But there are so many ways that you can probably discard a Stadium card from your deck, and you can probably set up so that all your cast forms can attack for free. Then we got cast form, Snowy form. It has the ability Forecast again, and its attack is Frost Typhoon, 120 damage, and this Pokemon can't use Frost Typhoon during your next turn. Then we got cast form, Rainy form, again with the ability Forecast, and it has the attack Rain Shower. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Really nice spread damage. And finally we got the regular cast form. It has the ability Forecast once again, and it has the attack Weather Force, 80 damage, and then you draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. Next up we got Heracross. It's a single strike Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is Horn Attack, 20 damage, and then the next one is Ippon Throw, 40 damage, and then you flip 2 coins. If both are heads, this attack does 160 more damage. So depending on the results of your coin flips, you can potentially do 200 damage. Next up is Zarude. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Clan Summoning Song. Search your deck for a grass Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. If you go second on your first turn, you may search for up to 3 grass Pokemon instead. And then the next attack is Spring Rain Whip, 60 damage, and does 20 additional damage for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. And then we got Delibird. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Icy Snow, 10 damage, and its second attack probably use Twin Energy. Delivery, return this Pokemon and all cards attached to it to your deck, but you can search your deck for any card. So this could be good. And then we got Lapras. It has 2 attacks. The first one is White Call. Search your deck for up to 2 Melanie cards, reveal them and put them into your hand. And since Melanie is an energy accelerator card, and then it's also a drawing engine, I can see this one being really used to combo with Lapras as early setup for Pokemon V builds. And then its second attack is Icy Wind, 50 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. And then we got a new version of Tapu Fini. It's a Rapid Strike Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is Smash Turn, 30 damage. You may switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. And its second attack is Ocean Loop, 120 damage, and return an energy from this Pokemon to your hand. Then we got Thundurus. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Assist Spark. It will do 30 damage, and then you may attach a lightning energy from your hand to one of your benched Pokemon. This is a really nice way to accelerate energy to your lightning type Pokemon. And its second attack is Thunder, 130 damage, and its Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. And then we got Cresselia. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Crescent Growth. Search your deck for a purple energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. If you go second on your first turn, you may attach up to 3 purple energy to one of your Pokemon instead. Remember Volcanion? Well, this is the new type of Volcanion, but with purple energy, so be ready to see this in a lot of deck builds. Its second attack is Photon Laser. It will do 30 damage, and if you have 5 or more energy in play, this attack does 90 more damage. 120 damage for 2 energies is not too bad. And then we got Passimian. It is a Rapid Strike Pokemon with the ability Throwing Coach. All of your Rapid Strike Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon V and Pokemon GX, and you can't use more than one Throwing Coach ability at a time, but 30 more damage to bench Pokemon V and GX damage to them, and then pair this with Telescopic Sight for your Rapid Strike Pokemon. This is gonna go great with Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX and also Zeraora V. This is gonna be a crazy card that's gonna see a lot of play on Rapid Strike builds that focus on bench damage. And its attack is Fling. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack might not seem much, but if you just attach a Telescopic Sight on this Passimian, you're actually doing 80 damage towards your opponent's benched Pokemon V or GX for just 1 fighting energy. So that's really good. And then we got Seviper. It is a single strike Pokemon with 1 attack, Strength Tail. It will do 90 damage, but if you played a single strike supporter card from your hand during this turn, it will do 180 damage instead. And then we got Spiritomb. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Ghostly Scream. Count the number of Pokemon cards in your opponent's discard pile. Put that many damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Then your opponent shuffles all of the Pokemon cards from their discard pile into their deck. This is basically a Mad Party destroyer. This is gonna go great with my Eternatus VMAX build for sure. And its second attack is Will-O-Wisp. It will do 20 damage. Quillfish is a single strike Pokemon with the ability Burst Needle. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. And it has 1 attack, Poison Job, 30 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not poisoned. Then we got Cobalion. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Headbang, 40 damage, and second one is Metal Slash, 130 damage, and it can't attack during your next turn. Zangoose is a basic Rapid Strike Pokemon with 1 attack, Gale Claw, 50 damage, and if you played a Rapid Strike supporter card from your hand during this turn, this attack does 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Again, this one will pair nicely with Passimian, and if you equip Telescopic Sight on this one, it's going to do great damage against Pokemon V and GX in the bench. Next up we got Shaman. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Return. It will do 10 damage and you may draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. And its second attack is Sky Return, 30 damage, and then return this Pokemon and all cards attached to it to your hand. Then we got Taurus. It is a single strike Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is Raging Bull, 20 damage, and this attack does 20 more damage for each damage counters on this Pokemon, and it gets confused. To put it in perspective, if this Pokemon has 1 HP left, it's gonna be dealing 260 damage. But since it is a single strike Pokemon, you can actually pair this with Abomasnow, which adds 50 HP to single strike Pokemon, and you can probably attach a Cape of Toughness on this Taurus, and that's gonna be a total of 100 extra HP. So if it has 230 HP, if it's down to its last HP, it's gonna be dealing 460 damage. And to add to that, if you use Houndoom to power up this guy with single strike energy, which adds 20 damage counters to it, and also 20 extra damage to its attack, you can deal up to 500 or more damage with just this guy for 2 energies. It's insane. I don't know how well that combo will work, but I'm definitely gonna try it out. And its second attack is take down, 80 damage, and then it will do 30 damage to itself. And then we got Furfrou. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Find a Friend. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand. And its second attack is Fur Attack, 90 damage. During your opponent's next turn, any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks is reduced by 20. And finally we got Kecleon. It is a Rapid Strike Pokemon with the ability Colorful Change. This Pokemon is the same type as the basic energy attached to it, and if 2 or more types of basic energy are attached to it, it becomes all of those types. This thing can become all types in the Pokemon TCG and can hit for weakness. Its attack is Spinning Attack. It will do 90 damage, but since it is hitting for weakness, it will do 180 damage. You can put this in any types of deck if you want to hit for weakness, and I can see this one being played in all types of decks. Karen's Conviction. This is a single strike supporter card. During this turn, your single strike Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has already taken. So if your opponent is down to their last prize, this support card will give 100 more damage to your single strike Pokemon's attack. Clara. Choose up to 2 Pokemon and up to 2 basic energy from your discard pile, show them to your opponent, and put them into your hand. Avery. Draw 3 cards, then your opponent discards their benched Pokemon until they have 3 benched Pokemon. This is a really great disrupt, especially against deck builds that rely on a lot of Pokemon in their bench, especially Eternatus VMAX builds. So this one is something to really look out for. Brawly. Search your deck for up to 3 Rapid Strike basic Pokemon and put them on your bench, and then shuffle your deck. This Rapid Strike supporter card is going to see a lot of play, I think. That easy and quick setup of being able to put 3 Rapid Strike basic Pokemon on your bench is a big deal, so this is a good card. Flannery. Choose a special energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon and any stadium card in play and discard them. This is a single strike supporter card, and I think this is a good card for disruption as well, so this could see a lot of play. Doctor. Draw 2 cards, and if your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon VMAX, draw 2 more cards. Peony. Discard your hand and search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So this is kind of like a greens exploration, although you have to discard your entire hand, so we'll just have to see how this one can really combo with other deck builds out there. Melanie. Attach a water energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V, then draw 3 cards. This is like a mini version of Welder, but this could see a lot of play because, you know, accelerating energy, an extra energy during your turn is a big deal, so I can see this being played a lot in a lot of deck builds. Caitlin. Put as many cards from your hand as you like on the bottom of your deck in any order, then draw a card for each card you put on the bottom of your deck. Agatha. Move up to 3 damage counters from your active Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. I really like this one. This is really good for healing 30 damage from your own Pokemon and then moving those damage to your opponent's Pokemon. So this one I could see myself using a lot. Peonia. Choose up to 3 of your prize cards and put them into your hand. Then place the same number of cards from your hand face down as prize cards. I don't know how I'm going to utilize this anytime soon, but definitely in the future, especially when the Dream Ball comes out and also the Treasure Energy comes out. This is definitely going to be useful for that one. Because the Dream Ball, once you get it from the prize card, you can get any Pokemon from your deck and into your bench. And also, you can attach the Treasure Energy to any of your Pokemon right when you get it from the prize card. So there's going to be a lot of interesting combos that we're going to be able to make in future sets. Seabold. This is a Rapid Strike Trainer support card. Choose up to 2 of your Rapid Strike Pokemon in play and heal 60 damage from each of them. This is a really good Pokemon Center lady sort of thing, but you can heal up to 2 Rapid Strike Pokemon, which is really cool. Galarian Breastplate is a tool card. If the Pokemon this card is attached to has Galarian in its name, it takes 30 less damage from your opponent's attacks. So now we got the gloves. This one is Fireproof Gloves. When the Pokemon this card is attached to attacks, damage done to your opponent's active Fire Pokemon is increased by 30. So if you're up against a Fire type matchup, this one is really good for that one. And then we got the Break Gloves. The Pokemon this card is attached to does 30 more damage to your opponent's active Metal Pokemon. And then we got the Weeding Gloves. So this one, if you are attacking a Grass type Pokemon, it will increase your attack by 30. And then we got the Justice Gloves. When the Pokemon this card is attached to attacks and you attack a Dark type Pokemon, your attack increased by 30. We got the Imposing Helmet. When the Pokemon this card is attached to is attacked and is damaged, choose an energy attached to the attacking Pokemon and return it to your opponent's hand. This is kind of like the mini Galarian Stunfisk. This one is alright because Galarian Stunfisk discards the energy. This one just puts it back to your opponent's hand. So, but it's still very disruptive. I can see this one being played a lot too. Then we got the Single Strike Scroll of Stab. You can only attach this to Single Strike Pokemon, and you can do an extra move called Overreach. It will do 120 damage, and then this attack isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any other effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So those effects that prevents Pokemon V or VMAX from attacking Decidueye or Altaria or anything like that will be inactive. So this one is going to be a very powerful tool card to use on your Single Strike Pokemon builds. Then we got the Rapid Strike Scroll of Skies. You can only attach this to Rapid Strike Pokemon, And you can do an extra move called Flying Suplex, 10 damage, and then this attack does 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is really good, especially when you're up against opponents that use a lot of energies. And then we got the Welcoming Lantern. It's a single strike item card. Choose a single strike supporter card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. This one is like a VS Seeker for single strike supporter card, and I can see a combination between Karen and also Cinderace with this one. So looking forward to this one. Then we got the Echoing Horn. It's a rapid strike item card. Put a basic Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench. I can see this one being played a lot too. Just fill your opponent's bench so that it will disrupt them, as well as putting easy targets, easy to KO, 2 prizers on their bench and then just knocking them out. So this is a really great item card to put in your deck builds. Survival Kit. Look at the bottom 3 cards from your deck and place them on top of your deck in any order. Have you ever been Marnied and you just needed something from your hand at the time? Well, this is an item card that's really gonna help out so that, you know, even if they disrupt you, you can get those important cards on top of your deck and be able to have access to it sooner than later. Fog Crystal. Search your deck for either a basic purple Pokemon or purple energy, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Got the Dynatree Hill Stadium card. Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent, can't be healed. Path to the Peak. Each player's Pokemon in play with a rule box has no ability. This one is going to be so used a lot, and it's going to disrupt a lot of deck builds, and this is really going to help out my single price Pokemon builds too, so I like this one. Old Cemetery. Whenever a player attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, excluding purple Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So this one, not only can it be effective against your opponent, but also can be very useful for you, especially when you rely on damage counters on your Pokemon, if you actually want damage counters on your Pokemon. So this one can combo with a lot of deck builds, and I can't wait to use this one as well. Impact Energy. This one can only be attached to single strike Pokemon. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, this card provides every type of energy, but provides only 1 energy at a time. If this Pokemon is poisoned, it is no longer poisoned and cannot be poisoned. So single strike Pokemon becomes immune to poison as well as Rainbow Energy. And then we got the Spiral Energy. This one can only be attached to Rapid Strike Pokemon. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, this card provides every type of energy, so Rainbow Energy, but provides only 1 at a time. And if this Pokemon is paralyzed, it is no longer paralyzed and cannot be paralyzed. So Rapid Strike can be immune to Paralyze. And finally, we got the Lucky Energy. This card provides 1 colorless energy while attached to a Pokemon. And if the Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon is damaged by your opponent's attack, you draw 1 card. And those are most of what's coming out in the Sword and Shield Chilling Reign set coming out on June 18th. I'm really looking forward to this new set. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.